Hi, I'm Amy and welcome to Her Tool Build. We are all ready to week 3 of the big build-off competition, and it's time for these chunky legs to take shape. These chunky legs to take shape. This week's video sponsor is Rockler. They were kind enough to provide some of the specialty woodworking tools and hardware for this table build. The table legs are going to be like four C's that meet in the middle. To give my legs some shape, I'll first need to make a template. I'll be using the Rockler circle jig to create my template to give me the nice smooth curves that I'm going after. I have an outer curve and an inner curve to make the C's, and then I'll be using it again on the tabletop to make the round shape. I'm using a scrap piece of melamine to create my leg template. I cut the melamine to 29¼ inches, which is the leg height. Then I found the center of the board and marked over where the legs end. And then I marked over about 5/8 of an inch, which is the center of my two curves. Then I attached the base for the circle jig. The outer curve is 16½ inches from the end, and the inner curve is 12 inches from the end. And I'm marking the template in pencil first, so I make sure I don't mess up when I actually have my router bit on. I'm using a straight bit and a plunge router to cut the template. On the outer curve, I line up the inside edge of the router bit with the line. On the inner curve, I line up the outside edge of the router bit with the line. The styrofoam is just a sacrificial underlayment so I don't hit the table with the router bit. Now that my smooth curves are cut, I carefully remove any excess melamine with the table saw. I'm going to use the bandsaw to remove the bulk of the material, so I'm tracing the template onto my leg sandwiches. I like to use a Sharpie because I think I'm getting old and I can't see as well, and the black line is really nice to see while cutting on the bandsaw. You young whippersnappers can probably see pencil lines just fine. I'm cutting the legs, about 1/16 of an inch outside the line. I will be able to clean the cuts up with the template. So I have the template securely clamped to the legs. Now I'm going to use a flush trim router bit to trace the pattern into the board. This bit has the bearing on the shank side and is great for tracing patterns. Now I need to move my clamps so I can finish up this pattern cut. Now that I have the pattern cut into the top portion of the leg, I can use this tall flush trim router bit to make the rest of the legs match the top portion that's already cut. This flush trim bit has the bearing on the end instead of the shank side. The key here is to go slow and keep that workpiece flat on the table. Wood shavings, anyone? I'm just cleaning up the shavings, then I'm gonna do a second pass to make sure that everything was nice and clean. I had quite a bit of shavings hanging on there. Alright, now it's time to make the big sandwich with 6 boards. This time I'm going to use a couple dowels just to keep everything lined up while the glue is drying and the boards are clamped together. I don't know about you, but sometimes boards like to slide a little bit, so I thought the dowel would help keep everything nice and straight. I still have a ton of sanding left to do, But let's do a dry fit of these babies and see what they look like. What do you think? I think it looks kind of cool. So I've been working towards a pedestal table. I think it would be fun to have 2 of these C's on each end of a rectangle table. Make sure to check out the other Big Build Off videos and please subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.